and more with John Brown and Nick Durst live on the UCY.TV network.
Hey everybody, it's 8 o'clock on February 15th, and it's John Brown, your host, and I'm joined as always with my co-host, Nick Durst. Hey Nick, are you there?
John, what is up? Good to be back, and man, do we have a lot going on tonight, and folks, we promise you, when we have the 10 of 10 tonight, it will not be 35 minutes. Andrew, our field reporter, is got to get his act together. And if his mic breaks up again, we will be cutting him off. So the 10 of 10 will be at 8:10, and it's going to be hopefully 10 minutes. If you want to talk to us, you can give us a call, but we don't know if it's going to work. Probably not. 718-717-8296. Or you can write to us in the chat with anything you want to say. Or if you do want to talk to us, write in the chat, and John will give you a call on our phone lines. Also, you can tweet us. John's at @SN_sports. I'm at Nick_Durst. Coming up at 8:30, we have Ranting Ruben at Ranted Ruben. Jared Rubin coming on to talk a little politics. We got to talk about President Donald Trump doing what he promised, and he's Benjamin Netanyahu coming today. Of course, we got Linda McMahon joining the Trump administration as the leader of the Small Business Administration. And great picture going out today of her and her family there yesterday. We're going to talk a little New York City mayoral race. As we know, Bill de Blasio not doing such a great job in terms of trying to get reelected here. And, of course, we'll end it with a little New York Mets talk. And in between there, we'll be talking about Valentine's Day. That was yesterday. But real quick, John, because I wasn't here last week. That Super Bowl, man, the NFL should have just listened to you in the beginning of the year, and they would have known you don't mess with the Patriots.
You know, I've been saying it for a long time, and, you know, I have a ton of Jet fan friends, and last week we had Brian on who's a Jet fan. The best case scenario for you is to let Tom Brady get complacent, because if they keep ruffling his feathers and pissing him off, he just gets more dedicated, him and Belichick more time, more effort in. You know, the Deflategate nonsense, I think that was like a way to try to punish him for past crimes or like a makeup call type thing. Roger Goodell, he's a weak leader, and weak leaders do things like that. And listen, Tom Brady could have very well been the MVP this year. He's 38 years old, and he didn't look at it at all. If they were in the Super Bowl again next year, no one would be surprised. This is
I think they're the favorites to it next year, because guess who's coming back next year? The greatest tight end of all time.
Yeah, they did this without Gronk.
Yeah, and like you said, ridiculous regular season. The guy had 28 touchdowns, and he only had 2 interceptions. I mean, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. If he played the extra 4 games, he definitely would have MVP.
I'm a big Madden guy. I play Madden in 2017. I can't do that. I can't throw that many touchdowns without throwing more picks. It's phenomenal. Their system is, very much ingenious. And I know you weren't on last week, so we'll touch it again. The argument that Mike Francesa and a lot of other talking heads,
Belichick, he was so dumb last week.
Yeah, about not being the best coach ever. Listen, what Belichick's done in the salary cap era is remarkable, and way more remarkable than when you go back to these other the great coaches all the time, because it's a different set of guys. If you look at the Patriots Super Bowl 2 years ago that they won, the amount of holdovers is only like 11 or 12 guys on a 53-man roster. So he's getting it done with guys that were working stocking shelves at grocery stores and stuff. It's beyond remarkable.
Yeah, and Tom Brady, he was already the greatest of all time. He definitely, solidified that even more so. I think almost everybody except Mike Francesa would agree. 5 Super Bowls, never been done before, victorious. But now, the real good thing that all our listeners are going to like here is we get to see Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and Rob Gronkowski on the steps of the White House with Donald Trump. I mean, that's going to be an amazing day.
Oh, I can't wait. Almost just for the delicious tears. And listen, you can say whatever you want, and Sean King definitely positioned it this way as Atlanta's the Hillary Clinton and the blah 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 blah. You know what the Patriots are? They're hardworking, excellent winners who put everything else aside and worry about winning the Patriot way. I'm not a Patriots fan, but I do respect the hell out of their organization and out of Bill Belichick, even though I think he's a jerk. He gets to be a jerk because he is the very best. And until biased fans will get over that, I think it's going to be a little hard for them to deal with.
Yeah, let's mention that moron, Sean King. How about his stupid tweets during the game? And he's like, oh, the Patriots are losing because of Donald Trump. That was just so dumb. And then, if that wasn't dumb enough, he should have been so embarrassed. He comes out this week, and he's saying that, he can't support Trump until he gets rid of white people in America. Like, he wants to get rid of himself? I don't understand. And why would he kick out a whole race? I don't understand.
Well, he's a crazy race baiter, to the extreme. He's probably a little bit more extreme than, even the Jesse Jacksons of the world. It is funny because the fact that he is a white guy who's in blackface. But regardless of that, let's try to take it at face value. What he's talking about is genocide of the majority of the people in this country, and white males. You're saying that on Twitter, invented by white males. Saying that via the internet, invented by white males. Just shut up.
And then he follows up this week by him, along with Al Sharpton and Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough president, decide that Charles Oakley getting taken out of MSG by security was the same as Eric Garner getting choked in Staten Island. I don't see the relation there at all. And they made it all about race when it had nothing to do with race at all whatsoever.
Oh yeah, did you hear the podcast with was it Green, Jamont Green?
No.
It was on. Joe and Evan talked about it a little bit today. Basically, he was trying to say that the relationship between the Garden, the Knicks organization, quote unquote, and their players, and the way that they handled this situation was like a slave master and slave relationship. Like they just, everything has to go. This is the common denominator to make it. It's an easier way to fight than to think about, oh, this was a misunderstanding. People got heated. It's really not that big of a deal. The NBA has a real problem with politically correct nonsense. They really try to spin their bullshit in one way or another. In reality, it's the blackest league of all the major sports.
Yeah.
It's fan base and players and everything. It doesn't really make sense. Why would they be, Charles Oakley's, a Knick legend. If this happened to John Starks, would that not be racist? Even if the same exact thing happened? It's just bullshit. It's very much the climate that we're in that, everything is racist.
And we will, and there's so much more we talk about. Obviously, the NBA All-Star Game this weekend, it's going to be boring. We'll talk about that next week to recap it. But we'll leave with this as time for the 10 of 10. Comment from Otto. Welcome back, Otto. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. He says Sean King is Talcum X. He identifies as black even though he's a pasty white dude, sort of like that Dolezal chick. Remember her, John? One of your favorites?
Oh, I love that one. That was hilarious. That was good stuff.
Yeah. All right, so it's time once again for the 10 at 10. And tonight we are breaking down the top 10 most memorable moments from the Grammy Awards, which were this past Sunday. And there was a lot of political statements there as well. But here he is, our field reporter, the phenomenal one, A.J. Pollock. Andrew, what's up?
Hey, guys. Yeah, things are not looking phenomenal for the phenomenal one himself. But, hey, you know.
Well, Andrew, how was your Valentine's Day, man?
No, I'm just happy Bray Wyatt's champion.
Uh-oh, he already lost his mic. That's it, Andrew. You have one more chance or...
My mic is working. What happened?
All right, Andrew. Let's not waste any time here. I know you had a nice Tuesday. You cracked open a can of beans and enjoyed your Valentine's Day. But let's get to the 10 of 10. Go ahead. Take it from 10 to 1.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we're really okay, everyone. We're really on a time constraint tonight, like Nick said earlier. So I really have to make this quick. So, in case it wasn't promoted correctly, and I promoted it just now on Snapchat. This week,
everybody, check it out on Snapchat at Andy's Randomness for behind-the-scenes stuff of our field reporter.
It's actually Andrew Sports Fan. For some reason, they won't let me change the name.
All right, Andrew Sports Fan on Snapchat. He's breaking down the weather and the wind chill in the Northeast and all things New York City. But yeah, check him out. He's got some good rants there and stuff. But yes, go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, so Grammys were this past weekend, and I was actually able to catch up on a few of the highlights past couple days. So here we go. My top 10 moments from the Grammy Award ceremony 2017. Here are the rules for the new listeners if they're turning in for the first time. I will start from 10 to 1. Nick and John get to always respond. So here we go. Number 10, Bruno Mars. Basically, he's on the charts right now. He has 24 karat gold, obviously. Everybody's streaming it on Spotify. But he did something remarkable. Basically, many people know Prince, the singer, passed away last year in April. And he did a terrific tribute to honor Prince Rogers Nelson.
All right. I mean, I didn't watch that. And I don't think they should have done a tribute to Prince since he overdosed. What do you think, John?
Yeah. You know, it's a shame or whatever, but addiction's definitely an epidemic and a problem. But I'm not going to celebrate someone for taking their own life, especially when they're in a situation where they have lots of money. You check yourself into the Betty Ford Clinic. You don't get brownie points for being a junkie.
Absolutely. All right, number 9, John. Get ready for this one because I probably think you have no clue what this is all about. But Andrew, give him number 9.
All right. So on Monday, this was a story on Snapchat. It was basically in the area on Snapchat where you get your stories, obviously. And this is why I have to make it up at number 9. John Legend's wife, Chrissy Teigen, gets drunk on Chrissy Teigen gets drunk after the Grammys and decides to post it on Snapchat.
All right, so for our listeners out there, give us a little example here of what she was doing on Snapchat.
Basically, she looked drunk, and it looked terrible, and it was on a Snapchat story.
All right, very interesting. John, what are your thoughts on Chrissy Teigen in general as a person?
No idea who the hell she is. She wants to get drunk.
She's a supermodel, and she has terrible political tweets. She needs to mind her own business.
Yeah, she's a liberal communist.
Look aside here, John. You need to discuss in 30 seconds right now Sarah Silverman's stupid tweet the other day.
Yeah, so Sarah Silverman, she's retarded, and she's part of the hardcore, communist left that's looking to be offended by anything. So she takes a picture of utility markings on the ground, and she tweets about them being SWAT stickers because Trump is so anti-Semitic. And then people answer her, go, "Hey, those are just utility signs that say either fiber optics, don't dig there because you'll cut the fiber optic cables." And she still doesn't. She responds and goes, "Yeah, well, maybe this time, but there's still so many people, blah, 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 blah." They want to draw this connection between Trump and his supporters and neo Nazis. That's not there. It doesn't make any sense. In reality, Trump is very much like a New York liberal. He's not even a good conservative. So he's not even Mike Pence. They're trying to make him Mike Pence, and he's not. And like she's just searching and searching and searching for ways to be offended.
Yeah, I would say, I guess she's never seen a construction zone or a pre-construction zone before. Anyway, but yeah, she's really dumb. And Andrew, number 8.
All right, we're gonna talk about Adele. She will be mentioned 3 times in this list.
Me.
Here we go. First mention at number 8. When Adele was singing, she did not realize she was cursing on live television.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. They beeped it out, though, and people have cursed before. But, yeah, she said, F this, restart my song, which was interesting. All right, number 7. John, I think John might have retweeted this, but I'm not sure.
All right, I think John's going to like this. So 25-year-old actress/singer Joy Villa.
Oh, yeah.
Grammys. Wearing a Make America Great Again dress.
Yep. I loved it. First of all, I know how everyone in the leftist fucking media was falling over themselves to kiss up to all these brave, quote unquote, actors who were bashing Trump at, the Grammys and all these other awards. Listen, that took some actual bravery because if you look on Twitter afterwards, the amount of, hatred and vitriol they're getting from people is insane. Calling her, the house N-word and all this other crazy nonsense for a woman that they've never even heard of before because she had the audacity to have an opinion that's different than theirs. I will say this, to wrap up that part of the story, which is really nice. Her record's number 1 on iTunes right now. It's up over 1,000% than where it was.
Yeah, I gotta say, I never heard of her. I still don't really know who she is, but I only heard of her because of her dress. So
yeah, me too.
Stunt from her. All right, number 6, a huge disgrace, John. Right? It's just. I would say it's despicable, right, Andrew?
Yeah. And before I go to number 6, I think she was on Fox News this week.
Oh wow.
I think she was. I don't know what show, but she definitely was on Fox News.
All right,
number 6. And John's not going to like this one. The rapper well known as Bus Rhymes, dissed President Trump on stage by none other, along with Q-Tip.
Oh? So, I mean, why would you name yourself Q-Tip? I put Q-Tips in my ear to get out wax. I didn't watch this, and I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. It was probably some dumb, uneducated statement. I think I'll speak for John on this one.
Q-Tip is.
Just stupid. Absolutely dumb. All right, number 5.
I'm sorry, but I thought most people would know who Q-Tip is.
John, do you know who this rapper Q-Tip is?
No idea. No idea who the hell Q-Tip is. Busta Rhymes hasn't had a hit since Gangsta Paradise in 1998. Yeah, it was so brave of him to bash Trump.
Quick comments from the chat here. Lots of Sean King hate in general. But Otto says he really likes Adele's voice. And Frank saying, yes, Trump bashing is so trending. Obviously, he's being sarcastic. Thanks for that, Frank. All right, number 5.
All right, so a lot of people are going to have a lot of different opinions about number 5. And, you are always entitled to it, guys. So let's bring up Chance the Rapper, winning 3 Grammy Awards. 2 of them, might I add, was Best Rap Album, Coloring Book, and more importantly, Best New Artist.
All right. I don't know much about this guy. His performance on SNL was good. I didn't think his performance was good at the Grammys. And he should not be having a cigarette on his ear during the show. John, your take.
Listen, the record industry is dead. I listen to talk radio. I don't even really listen to any music. But, there's a couple of standouts. And when people are really good, I can say they're really good. Like Adele is a great example. I'm not an Adele fan. I'm not buying an Adele album, but she's very talented. I don't know who the hell this guy is. The whole music industry is kind of stupid. Whatever.
Now,
let me bring up. This is very important because John should know about this. Chance also won the third Grammy of the night was for Best Rap Performance for the hit single "No Problem" featuring Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz.
All right, so now, Andrew, I want to know why that's important and why John should have known about that.
Well, a lot of people claim that last year Chance the Rapper was the best rapper of 2016, but I actually disagree with everything.
No, the best rapper is number 4 on the list. Number 4. Go ahead.
That's why we have to talk about number 4. Aubrey Drake Graham. He won 2 Grammys on the night. One of them was, of course, for Best Rap Song Performance, Hotline Bling. And, of course, Best Rap Song, too.
Great song. Views from the Six, great album. He also got Controller on there and Fake Love. Lots of jams right there. I know John does not like rap, so he probably doesn't have any comment. But we'll take it. We'll see what John has to say about this one.
Used to call me on the telephone. It's that dude, right?
Yeah, you know the song, right? So
yeah, I know it. I'm hip. I'm cool.
See,
I'm down with the.
This is how I judge if a song's good or not.
If
I put it on my car radio and I hear the song over and over again on different channels, then I know it's like a trendy song. I'm not saying it's good, but that's how I would know. And
listen,
Chance the Rapper is not on the radio.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I don't listen to Drake. I'm not a young emo black kid, but the guy's talented. He's wrote a lot of songs. They're catchy. They're all over the place. Their movies are on SNL. They're all over the place. There's other kid with the cigarette. Who the hell is he? I've never even heard him before.
Yep. All right. And now number 4, very controversial, but not controversial at all. But number 3, very controversial, Andrew.
Oh boy, John's not gonna like this one, but I'll highlight the main award for it. So basically, there was a category for Best Urban Contemporary Album, and at number 3, Beyonce won 2 Grammys on the night, but the Urban Contemporary Album was the main highlight of her evening. For the album Lemonade.
Right. So Lemonade, never heard on the radio. I don't know how it could have won all this stuff. Forget the Grammy wins for a second.
Listen to hip-hop stations. I listen to the hip-hop stations.
Well, I listen to like 92.3 amp radio or 100 or 103.5 KTU. I'm listening to top 40 stuff. But John, what was with that Beyonce 40-minute performance? Her performance was longer than Andrew's 10 at 10 last week. It was so ridiculous. And we get it. She's pregnant. Great. Happy for her. She doesn't even be out there showing off her that she's like the queen because she's pregnant or something. Twitter, all these ladies were like, oh my gosh, Beyonce was so great. She's pregnant. And in fact, 2 weeks ago when it was announced she was pregnant, there was these 2 girls in my office who hugged each other so hard and they were like, oh my gosh. And the whole office looked up and was like, what the hell are these 2 screaming about? What's the obsession here? What was with that performance? And do you think Lena Dunham approved? Because, she's not really all into the pregnancy.
Yeah, Lena Dunham wish she could have gotten an abortion. I got to tell you, I don't understand it either for a multitude of reasons. But one of the real big reasons is, didn't Jay-Z cheat on her? Weren't they like breaking up like a year ago? So they're having a fucking Save My Marriage baby.
I think it was all fake to promote the album because she has nothing to sing about, so she made an album about like cheating or something. I think it was publicity stunt.
Honestly, I don't give a shit. It's just some broad having a baby. Who cares? But we've come to a lot of this as a head, as a society lately, where this is important. Like we should give a shit that she's having a kid. Who cares? Who cares? Oh, she's pregnant. Great. Her fallopian tubes work.
All right.
Congratulations.
Exactly. All right. Andrew, finish it off here. You got number 2 and 1. Let's roll them. Let's put them together.
All right. Quickly, I just have to say that Beyonce is starting to become the Black Taylor Swift. Whenever there's relationship issues, she has to make a whole album about it.
All right, Taylor Swift is great. I don't care what you say. She's fantastic. Very talented.
You watch your mouth. You talk about Tay Tay.
All right.
Well, I love Taylor Swift. I wish she was on Spotify.
I wish she'd sit on my face.
All right. Frank said it's very important to note that Beyonce did not use a surrogate this time. Okay, Frank. Thanks for letting us know that. And
Frank
lots
from
of people in the
Brooklyn
chat saying that China is in charge of Hollywood. So very interesting. All right, Andrew, go ahead.
All right. Again, if Frank from Brooklyn's listening, I want to shout him out. So, hey, Frank. Number 2. And John's not going to like this one either.
John doesn't like any of them.
All right. So, during Adele's speech for when she accepted Best Album overall, she had to honorably mention Beyonce's album Lemonade on stage, saying that, it was my toughest competition. But here's the thing, Adele, and this is what bothers me the most. You had other great people. You had Drake, and he was your other competitor too.
As Andrew's mic is going bad again, let me just recap here, John. Andrew's saying that when Adele won Best Album, she goes up there and she's like, I can't accept this award because Beyonce should have won. She's so influential. And she's crying. It was just ridiculous. Like, they made the whole show about Beyonce. I don't understand. I don't know if Beyonce made a political statement, but there was too much politics in this stuff. Go up there, sing your song, accept your awards, get the hell off the stage. I just don't get it. Why do you
think that Adele's white face has to go up there and basically, Beyonce should have won? It's this white guilt complex that they have that, like, I won, but my white privilege helped, so I better look at me. I'm white, but I'm not like these evil white people like Donald Trump. I'm good because I'm self-deprecating, and I think that Beyonce was the best album. Blah blah blah. Listen, the whole Grammys is really just a circle jerk of lefties telling each other how great they are, even though the record industry's been losing money hand over fist for a decade now. Eminem's the only person who makes any goddamn money selling records anymore. The whole idea of this whole night, I completely ignored. I didn't watch it all, and if you look at the ratings, so did America. No one really gives a shit.
Everyone was watching the Elimination Chamber, probably. All right, so number 1, Andrew, take it away.
Before I talk about number 1, and John makes an excellent point, the reason why the record industry is losing money is because all these songs are now playing constantly on the radio. You have internet streaming like Spotify, Amazon Prime, and iTunes Music playing a factor. And not to mention, the people are just not really into buying CDs anymore.
Listen, nobody's going to buy a CD when you get it for free. That's what it comes down to.
Pirating is a very big factor. So John's made very excellent points tonight. The record
John always makes excellent points. Yes. You know why? Because he's the host of the show with me. All right, so Andrew, number 1.
Hostess with the mostest.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew, number 1. Let's go. Hurry up.
This is very important. I have to talk about number 1. Overall, Adele won 5 Grammys. I mentioned earlier, Album of the Year overall. But she also won 2 awards for the song Hello.
Listen, Hello is a great song. I suggested they start the Grammys with that last year. And she could have been like, Hello, Grammys, because this song came out last year. But they didn't. And they did this year. They rectified their mistake. But Andrew, I would say it's a solid 10 out of 10. But Frank disagrees, and he says you're going on the list. All right? So the list of Jericho, Andrew Jason Pollock.
You mean I'm going on the list of Frank from Brooklyn now?
Yes, the list of Frank from Brooklyn. Frank says the music industry produces trash. And the Otto says the terrorist hate us for Asians in the entertainment industry. Interesting stuff here on the chat, so definitely check that out. But thanks, Andrew, and we will talk to you soon, and enjoy your baked beans.
I hope I am having baked beans soon. Bye, guys. Have a good rest of the show.
Thanks, bud.
All right. There you had it. We have Andrew, who he's truly one of a kind, John. just really crazy. All right, so now, John, let's get Jared up here. Lots to talk about.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
We appreciate all our commenters in the chat tonight. People talking about how the Baconator says he remembers Glenn Beck was pushing that whole the Saudis run Hollywood thing for a while. And then we had Otto saying the Arabs run Hollywood. Spielberg, Weinstein, Katz are in Chinese, so I guess he's disagreeing. And then Frank was saying that, Jews and Italians and the mob used to run Hollywood.
Hello.
Now there's a gay mafia. But we welcome into this time a very special guest to the show, other than @Ranting Ruben on Twitter, the one and only Jared Rubin. Jared, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
What's going on, man?
It's going well.
Not much.
So, Jared, we wanted to talk about something that was really crazy, and the disgusted New Yorker, Leslie, went missing on Twitter. I can't believe that, but luckily he's been found, and he's too busy tweeting Lloyd Rubinson. But for anybody looking for the disgusted New Yorker, he's back on Twitter. You could find him. So Jared, you've been on Twitter as of late. You've been seeing this absolute social media and media meltdown from these people, and it's all stemming because, surprisingly, just kidding, President Donald Trump is doing exactly what he promised he was going to do. So I don't know where all the shock's coming from. What's your take on this?
No, I mean, the media hates him, and I mean, I think that's the way. He's pretty much, he's done a good job though, pissing off a whole lot of people, and he's sticking by what he said, and I think they're just gonna hate him more because he's actually doing everything he promised, and so yeah, I mean, he could say the media is making up stuff about him, but I mean, he has pissed off a lot of people, and I mean, I still support the guy. I mean, it's probably gotten a little bit harder to actually support him as of recently. But, yeah, I mean, the pipeline's being built, the oil pipeline. He's building the wall. I don't remember the last time a president actually went, by word for word doing what they actually said.
Right, and the major one here would be he was like, I'm going to make the economy fantastic. And what happened with the stock market? Reached all-time high.
5 days in a row, record finishes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's great for all those businesses.
Yeah, and yet the really rich people like George Soros just can't see that it's good for everybody, and he's just worried about his money.
Right.
Well, he's made his money on manipulating currencies and shorts, because he's done. If you look at what George Soros did to the Asian stock market in the late '90s with shorting currencies, he's a real scumbag. He scummed over a lot of people and made himself really rich through it. Made a lot of enemies in the world. George Soros is bad people.
Yeah, no, he's not a good guy. I know that.
Right. So other things with going on with him would be a big meeting today with Benjamin Netanyahu. You see any of that, Jared?
Well, no, I saw something that I know Trump was saying he wants Israel to kind of slow down with the with them taking over their what are they called, like establishments? Yeah, settlements. That's the word. Thank you.
Right,
I mean, that was all I saw, that Trump wanted them to slow that down.
So, John, you were all over this. Why don't you fill everybody in?
Yeah, so I watched it live, and it was a really great presser. It got right to the point. There wasn't this whole pageantry nonsense that Obama used to do. But I'll tell you this, that he did say that, the settlements that are there can stay, but you can't keep expanding them, basically because what you're doing is you're putting more pressure on the situation. Netanyahu knows that. They're friends. They've known each other for 30 years. One of the big break of this was basically that Donald Trump said, listen, the two-state solution might not work, but it doesn't matter. Basically, the American position being we want peace, and however Israel figures that out, we're gonna support. We don't want war. Anything else, the two-state solution, isn't feasible. And the real reality, and Netanyahu himself actually got into this about the Iran nuclear deal. The reality is they won't accept a Jewish state. They're writing in Hebrew on the ICBMs that they're testing, "Death to Israel." You have Palestinians learning in grade school that Jews aren't people, and death to Israel, all this other stuff.
That'll never change. It's been going on for thousands of years. That war, thousands of years.
Absolutely. So there's a great political cartoon came out a couple months ago, and I think it just simplifies it so easy. It's two people at a table. It's Netanyahu and Arafat, or whoever the new leader of the Palestinians is, and it's John Kerry. And John Kerry's going, "Can't you just give them some of their demands?" And the piece of paper that the Palestinians holding is "Death to all Jews."
Right. So this is what it comes down to.
Crazy.
And this is why the Obama administration and the Democrats are totally wrong. If Israel just was like, all right, we're willing to make peace, we'll stop, they're going to get blown up. It's going to be bad. But if Palestine was like, all right, we'll calm down, we'll stop, it would just be peace. Because Israel is not really attacking on their own. They only have to do this to stay alive or to retaliate.
Exactly.
A couple of years ago, the Israelis gave some of Gaza back, and what it led to was Hamas launching thousands of missiles into Israel. In reality, the Palestinians don't want a two-state solution either. They want one state, a Palestinian state with no Jews.
Yep.
What I can see coming from this, now that Donald Trump is president and he's starting to get better relationships with the Syrian government and with Assad, he should say, "Listen, Assad, we're going to back you. We're going to help you get rid of ISIS. We're going to completely 180 on what Obama was doing, trying to overthrow you. But as part of that agreement, you need to give back some territory that you took from Palestine during the 1970s war, and you're going to make that the Palestinian state, so that it's a 2-3-state solution, basically. What you do is you create a Palestinian state that's in between Syria and Israel. Palestinians in Gaza, nowhere.
I think that they would actually give back. Yeah, you think they might give back territory? I'd be surprised if they did.
Well, Assad's, he's up between a rock and a hard place. And if you have America willing to back, so now instead of it becoming a proxy war between the West, America, and the Russians, now you have both sides helping you to push back ISIS and sort of reclaim all of that land. He's in a tough negotiating spot where he looks at what happened to Gaddafi and what could be in the cards if Trump doesn't win another presidency. If I'm him, I want to cement myself as a reasonable world leader, and B, as a partner for the West, so that make yourself as Western as possible. And he really is. If you see him, he's walking around in a suit. He's very, prior to all this nonsense, Syria was a secular society. He's not a jihadist, and that's the problem, is jihadism, the Wahhabism nonsense. That's what we really need to fight here. I'm sure
he's not enough of a terrorist for the terror.
Right, and the media makes it worse, the way they cover this. I don't know why the media is so anti-Israel. It doesn't make sense. But another big thing here with the Trump administration this week was Linda McMahon, Jared. Yes, that Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon's wife from WWE, sworn in as the new administrator of the Small Business Administration. And a great picture going around. They got Vince McMahon there, Shane McMahon's wife and their children, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and their children, all there with Donald Trump in the Oval Office. What a picture! I can't believe how great a picture that is.
Didn't he make Woody Johnson ambassador to some country? Woody Johnson,
ambassador to the UK. So unfortunately, Jared, he's not going to be with the Jets the next 4 years. What's your thoughts on it?
You won't hear us complaining. No Jet fans will complain about that.
See, Trump's even making the National Football League better.
How? Oh yeah, true. Did you see that the 30 for 30 on the XFL?
That was really good. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I liked it. I did like it. No, it's true, and it's true. You could see when you watch the games, you could see all the stuff they use today in the games.
They create everything, and I think the only reason we're out of business is because not because the ratings were bad or whatever. It's because the NFL probably called up Dick Ebersol and said, if you ever want to get NFL back on your network, you better start, not promoting this league anymore and make sure they go out of business. And that's basically what happened.
They got the Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Exactly. And then ref that, they got Sunday Night Football back. I watched the XFL at the time. Did you watch?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it was really entertaining. John, what are your thoughts on the XFL?
I love the XFL. I eat those. Remember all that crazy nonsense? What I think what the XFL gave you was like excitement to the game, where you had a lot of stagnant, football, and I think it was very exciting. It was a little over the top, but honestly, it was the NFL pushing them out of business more than just them not having good ratings. And that's all that was. The
kickoff thing was amazing when they run for the ball. I mean, that was the scramble. That was just awesome. John, we have a caller, Frank, trying to get through, I think. So we'll leave Jared up. Maybe you could Skype Frank in. He says he's trying to call. Yes, that picture is pretty awesome. But so Jared, the other thing we want to discuss with you is the New York City mayoral race, and it seems like no one wants to oppose Bill de Blasio, which is strange because you would think it would be an easy win. Maybe Dan Donovan gets involved, but probably not because he probably thinks he has to wait a little longer. And the only person that's come forward is Bo Dietl, and he's going to run as a Democrat.
I can't believe that. When you texted me that before, I couldn't believe that guy is running.
Yeah, so Bo Dietl, as John knows, our field reporter, Andrew Jason Pollock, he loves Bo Dietl. Now, Bo Dietl is running as a Democrat, so he's going to go in the primaries against de Blasio. And did you see this video, John, of Bo Dietl doing push-ups the other day? He's like, I'm 60 years old. I get up at 5 a.m. I challenge Bill de Blasio to do 60 sit-ups, push-ups. He gets up at 11 a.m. and he does 60 push-ups. Did you see that, John?
No, but I did hear about it on Twitter. Bill Beatle's not going to win. He's a crazy guy. I do like him. I think he's funny. And I'd like the idea of at least primarying, fucking Slick Bill. But we need a Republican that's going to run against him.
Right.
If we want to get real.
We got a call here. Frank's on the call. Frank is a Brooklyn resident. Frank, what's your thoughts on the New York City mayoral race?
Oh, I don't know. There's no good candidates. De Blasio's a mess. All the cops hate him. Now there's rumors that Hillary might jump in there and run from it.
Oh, gosh. Jared, what would you do if Hillary ran? I'd have to vote for de Blasio.
Yeah, I probably would.
Hillary is so popular in New York City.
She'd win, I think. But she's not even a New York City resident, I don't think.
Well,
no.
Their headquarters are in Harlem, and she was already a senator in New York, so.
No, the next Clinton, I think, that's going to do anything is going to be the daughter. She'll still run for something.
I don't know. Not for a long time. Her book, they said today, is tanked. It's like close to
really?
number 70. Yeah, she put out a book, and I think maybe she was gonna get promotion because of her mom winning, but now it's like close to number 70,000 on the New York Times list.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know who's gonna run. I mean, no Republicans come forward. I think Dan Donovan would be a good choice, but he's probably gonna wait 4 years. So I don't know. I think John Catsimatidis needs to run again. What do you think, Jared?
I mean, Danny Donovan. Danny Donovan wouldn't be a bad choice. He's the Staten Island DA, right?
Correct. Well, no,
yeah,
he was the DA, and then once Michael Grimm, who would have been mayor by now, got indicted, he became. I think he's the Attorney General. No, I don't know what he is. He's a district congressman for Staten Island right now. He was the DA. Now he's congressman.
Yeah, I know. I served on the grand jury one time, and that was when Danny Donovan was actually the DA. I don't remember if we saw him at all, if we met him, but I would definitely probably vote for Donovan if he did anything in the future.
Definitely a good guy. I think he's going to run in a few years. But Frank.
Yes.
Frank, what do you think? John Catsimatidis, you think he should run as a Republican?
Who's that? The big fat guy?
Yeah, remember he ran and he lost to Joe Loda for something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that guy. I get bad vibes off him. He reminds me of a big like corrupt crime boss. I don't know why.
He's Greek though.
I don't know.
I don't know who's gonna run because I'll be honest with you guys. I voted for John Katzimatidis in the primaries last time. He lost to Joe Loda, and I was like, "There's no way I'm voting for Joe Loda, who's running the MTA all these years and doing a terrible job to be mayor." I thought the MTA was gonna get totally out of control, so I voted for De Blasio, and the MTA still went out of control. I don't know what to do.
I don't really. Right now, New York is pretty much running really well, so it doesn't really matter who the mayor is, unless they can't really improve it. They could only screw it up.
I mean, and then we'll just go around the room here. I'll start with Jared. Have you ever, in your memory, in all your time as a New Yorker, have you ever seen a mayor do such a bad job, public relations wise, as Bill de Blasio?
I mean, I was probably too young to really remember Mayor Dinkins, David Dinkins.
Oh yeah.
But I remember. Yeah, I remember. I compared to like the 4th of July's. I remember like growing up, I used to love the 4th of July, and everyone would have so many fireworks because he didn't crack down on like any of those laws. So like getting fireworks was so easily. That's really the only thing I really remember from being that young.
Well, Giuliani put an end to that.
Yeah.
It was Giuliani. He viciously cracked down on fireworks.
Yeah, he did all. Yeah, Giuliani cleaned up the city big time.
That's because the mob was supplying all the illegal fireworks.
Oh yeah, and police were corrupt under Dinkins. So I mean, I think Dinkins had a pretty tough run when you look back at all his years.
Frank, who would you say is the worst over the last 30 years?
Oh, it has to be Dinkins because Dinkins was he was one of the worst mayors. The crime, I mean, even though it wasn't all his fault, but New York City had crime. Record high 2,500 homicides, and then the biggest disaster was the Crown Heights riots. He was playing tennis while the riots were happening.
Oh, and all the drugs during the 80s. I mean, he was responsible for a lot of that.
That wasn't really his fault. His worst moments was during the Crown Heights riots. He was playing tennis while the riots were happening.
Unbelievable.
Who was the mayor during that whole the Bronx is burning thing? That serial killer.
Oh, I forgot.
Summer of Sam.
What was his name, John?
You're thinking of the Summer of Sam?
Yeah.
That's late Dinkins, early Koch.
No, it was Abraham Beam. Beam was the.
Oh yes, Beam.
And then Koch ran against him, and he won in a landslide.
That's
Beam,
like the Warriors, right? That time period.
Yeah, Beam was one of the worst mayors, and I don't know why. After I think 1960, just New York went down the tubes. New York was almost bankrupt in the late 70s. It was a mess, and Koch was a pretty good mayor though.
So, John, you hate de Blasio. Like, do you see any way he could possibly win?
And honestly, if he can get the illegals to come out to vote for him, because that's what he's really pushing for nowadays, which is bizarre to me. But like to say how to lean on the other guy's comments, yes, Dinkins was terrible. He was awful, but he's a little bit I don't want to try to give Dinkins a pass here, but he's a victim of his times. The crime rate in America was very high then. The 80s, everyone was doing cocaine and drugs, and it was a real issue. That's not the case in America right now. Crime outside of major population areas is very much down big time. The big crime stopped, with Giuliani and in the 90s, crime really bottomed out.
It was and especially in New York, it was the crack epidemic and the mob.
Yep. So Giuliani as district attorney and then as mayor, he really cleaned up New York City. The RICO law itself got a ton of organized crime outside of basically getting their hands out of all these illegal activities. So I'm not that I'm giving them a pass, but I'm going to say Bill de Blasio is worse because he's inherited 16 years of good mayorhood in a city that's had dropping crime rates over and over and over and over and over again. And then he just sort of turned his back on them. And he's gotten rid of things that have been proven to work, like stop and frisk and broken windows and quality of life laws, for
Right.
no reason other than for like political
Exactly.
nonsense.
And the thing that really started de Blasio's downward spiral, and we'll end it with this, is when he didn't call for a snow day when there was like a blizzard a few years ago in his first year. And he said, him and his, at that time, superintendent, whatever, was like, it's becoming a beautiful day outside now, so everyone should be able to get to school. That was just like the most stupid thing that they could have ever said.
Yeah, that's because the schools have to be open a certain amount of days per year
Right.
to receive funding.
The main thing is the school's got to be open because they're babysitters, and the parents get mad. Some parents, but
Yeah, you hit it on the head right there.
All right. So we got two more things to discuss. So let's give this 1 minute of discussion here. Valentine's Day was yesterday, and if you looked on Twitter and checked out the 1-800 Flowers and Pro Flowers mentions, don't ever get stuff from them. Forget about cherries, berries. If Joe B sends you, say no thanks. They didn't. Everything showed up late, or didn't show up at all, or was rotten, or broken. Jared, you see any of this going down on Twitter or no?
Well, the Sherry's Berries thing, that's from Shark Tank, right? That's the Shark Tank company?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think that was originated from that show, Shark Tank.
Wow. All right.
So
Frank,
I've no personal experience, though.
Frank, you see any of this stuff going down?
What, the flowers? I missed that. I didn't see that on Twitter.
I mean, John, you've had to have seen these now.
Yeah, and I've been, not this year, but I've been complaining about it in the past. This is like an opposite read. This is like the opposite of advertisement. Yeah, dude. What happens is these companies will have to make an investment on drivers and stuff like that, depending on how much they think they're going to get. They always underinvest, and then they just underdeliver. But why not? Because you're not going to not order it. You know what I mean? And they're not going to get your business again for a whole year, so they don't give a shit.
And then the other thing I'm on with this, the best part about Valentine's Day would be Mike Francesa doing the hoodie footy reads.
Oh my God.
Oh, the hoodie footies, get the lady ready to go. This is so stupid. Anyway, so now let's move on here. We got about 5 minutes. Big news with the Mets. We'll start with Frank on this one. Did you see that the Philadelphia Phillies put up this big sign on their wall with a picture of Tug McGraw in a Phillies uniform, and they wrote, "You gotta believe," which they're gonna make their own slogan. And Mets Twitter responded back by saying, "You gotta be kidding." What's your thoughts on that? The Phillies are trying to steal the Mets saying.
Do you know what happens when you try and steal the Mets saying?
Oh, I have a feeling that I know what happens.
The Phillies just made the list.
Yeah, they're on the list of crappy city, crappy baseball team, but they're on the list of good cheesesteaks, though. Jared, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm more worried about David Wright trying to play first base because he's going to be taking at bats away from my man Duda.
I knew you were going to say something.
It's over. It's over for David Wright.
David Wright's got to play first, though.
It's over. Listen,
day.
he's not going to be able to hit a major league pitching anymore.
Right, this is what's going to happen. David Wright, opening day, 100% hits a home run. 100% hits a home run.
Okay.
David Wright's good to go. He's going to have a solid first 2 weeks,
and then he'll be hitting 220.
Then he's going to be day to day. And you know what day to day means, Jared? When you're day to day with the Mets, right?
Yeah, out for 2 months.
Then he goes. He's on the 30-day, the 15-day DL. He's not ready to come back.
Listen, he last year before he got hurt, he was hitting 240, 250. But now he got neck fusion surgery. Come on, it's over. He should just retire.
Yeah, he's done. He's got to do the team a favor and just I'm sure they'll give you some money.
He's a
some insurance or whatever they get. Just retire early.
Whatever he gives you is a plus. If he it's not doing any. If he's there, he's better than Ty Kelly. I think we could all agree.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe at this point he could be a backup and hope you could get something out.
Maybe you could platoon with Lucas Duda. I don't know. But the big news come out of today. And John, we'll start with this. Well, with you. Zach Wheeler had to stop throwing his bullpen session today. Elbow soreness. You know what happened the last time there was elbow soreness? Sandy Alderson said he's day to day. What happened?
Tommy
John surgery.
Tommy John. That's it. He's done.
Jared says he's done. I'm thinking he's done now too. What do you think, John?
Probably done. Everyone's going to call me a pessimist, but I called this a couple years ago when they lost the World Series. This was their lightning in the bottle. This was their chance. These guys all being healthy at the same time. It doesn't happen. You don't get pitching rotations. The guys are all good like this. Now we got Harvey going down. Who knows what he's going to be when he gets back. We got fucking Mr. Glass in Wheeler. We got Bartola's down in Atlanta. We're going to have to trade Kelly Johnson to get him.
We're going to sign Kelly Johnson first.
Yeah, we're going to sign him and trade him down to Atlanta. That's part of our plan.
The Braves are going to sign Kelly Johnson, and they know that the Mets are going to have to trade for him and Bartolo this year. So that's probably part of their strategy. The Braves farm system is made up of Mets prospects that were traded for Kelly Johnson. It's a joke. So Frank, you think Zach Wheeler is going to pitch at all this year for the Mets?
Who knows? I mean, remember last year, the desperate fans were saying, "Oh, he's going to come up in September," and then he had elbow inflammation, and so it's over. It's over.
I unfortunately don't know if he's ever going to pitch again in the majors, which is a shame. But it happens to everybody. Not everybody can bounce back from Tommy John.
It's part of the Mets contract. When you serve with the Mets as a pitcher, you get Tommy John surgery.
Right. So the Mets medical staff is just atrocious. Yeah, and so let's end with this. I think Matt Harvey's going to win Comeback Player of the Year for the second time in 30 years, which is funny. But what's your guys' outlook for the Mets season? Realistically, where do you see them finishing overall, like in playoff picture or whatnot? Frank, we'll start with you.
If they could make the wild card again, but if they need another big bat, but I mean,
yeah, they need a big bat. You know who they should have? They should have got Daniel Murphy. All right, that's right. They had him. They had him on the team. They let him go.
That was crazy. That was strange. But yeah, they need another big bat. They need a leadoff hitter.
They got Jose Reyes.
He's 34. He'll be on the DL before you know it.
Well, you know that everyone's going to be on the DL for the Mets this season, except Curtis Granderson, probably. All right, Jared, Mets outlook. What do you think? What's realistic?
I mean, if the rotation stays healthy, they should win the division. If they all 4 or 5, even if they have 4 out of the 5 pitches.
Yeah, I think they might bring back John Meeks in case Wheel is back down. That would be dead. But
no.
Who's this healthy rotation we got? We got Matt. Who else? Who's the other 5 guys?
Syndergaard, Wheeler, DeGrom,
Wheeler's broken, right?
Seth Lugo, Robert Gsellman, and we're definitely getting Bartolo back by July. Definitely happening.
They'll probably go with a 6-man rotation for the first half of the year, probably.
I don't know what they're gonna do. They gotta worry about the bullpen. But John, real quick, what do you think the Mets are gonna do this year?
82 wins, missed the playoffs.
Missed the playoffs. Oh boy. Well, call me crazy here. I think the Mets are gonna be in the World Series this year.
You're crazy.
They're just gonna do. They got. They don't do it this year. It's definitely done. But they gotta. As long as they could somewhat relatively stay a little healthy, because the bench depth is incredible. You got T.J. Rivera, who bats like 800 in the minors and 600 in the majors in the minor leagues. Conforto's going to be in the minor leagues batting 500. They got a lot of depth. So in that aspect, they're good to go. We bring Bartolo back. You get Kelly Johnson from the Braves. And I think this team's going to be in the World Series. And the reason why is because the Cubs can't hit the Mets pitchers.
Yeah, when the Mets pitchers are healthy.
Gibson, and I am the host